Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about some newly shown items at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the J. Scott Campbell statue collection from Sideshow Collectibles. So I was very excited to see what they'd be showing for J. Scott Campbell, and I'm not disappointed, but I'm not happy. I'm just kind of in this midway zone. I was really hoping that they would show something, and they did show something, which is cool. It's not exactly what I wanted them to show, but it's still neat, so there is still stuff to talk about here. Before I get into their new product that was shown, I'll just go over quickly what they showed for their Fairytale Fantasy collection, which is what I was hoping that they'd show. They've teased Fairytale Fantasy statues, like more of them, before, so I was really hoping that we get to see something at Comic-Con, and unfortunately we didn't. Really, we only saw the stuff that's already out or coming out. So we've got Tinkerbell here. I do have that statue. Alice, got it on pre-order. I would assume this is a little bit closer to the final product, and it looks quite nice, at least from the few images that I can see of it. But she looks good, so I'm excited for that one. And then here's the blonde with the red fin version of Little Mermaid, which is also coming out. So yeah. So nothing new from them, which is disappointing. They've teased Cinderella. I was really hoping that Cinderella would be here. So unfortunately, that is not the case. However, surprisingly, they did show something for their SpiderMan line, which had stopped years ago. This is the line that they were doing for quite a while, SpiderMan figures. They made 4 statues: Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy, Black Cat, and Mary Jane. And now, years after, we're getting an updated version, which now features 2 characters, being Spider-Man and Mary Jane. This is a variant cover art for one of the comics, and it's definitely a very recognizable J. Scott Campbell image. However, it's not the one that I would have preferred, to be honest. I'm happy with some aspects of this, not of some others, though. But let's get into it. Price-wise, I'm a little worried on this thing because it does feature 2 characters and like a couch, so I could definitely see this be a very expensive piece, which I'm hoping it won't be, because I would like to get this. I don't know if I will, though, depending on the price. But talking about the Mary Jane statue, like her portion of the statue, I think she looks great. She really does. I think that they nailed her face sculpt, definitely looking like the artwork, and I like the smile a lot. I think that it looks really good. Her positioning, the way that her body is kind of sculpted, twisting but still being like on the couch, is rather interesting. I think from some angles it looks better than others. Like straight on, this looks a little odd here. Like this section looks just a little odd, the way that the thighs connected to the body. However, it still looks okay. It's not bad. It's just it has a little bit of a weird look, so from some of the straight-on shots look a little bit odd. However, I think that from all the other angles it makes sense. It looks okay. I like the fact that she's wearing kind of Spider-Man's his like stockings, I guess, on her, or she's wearing like a portion of his leggings as stockings. I think that it looks quite neat. I think that's a neat choice. In the original artwork, she has both of her feet up here, just the knees higher, and she's got both of her legs on the couch. So this one, they did put like one leg out, which I think looks nice. It moves the piece a little bit further out than just the couch itself, which I think is very cool. So Mary Jane, I think, looks great. I do like also the shading in her abdomen section, so that you can almost see like her body underneath the clothing. I think that that's a pretty neat touch, and the way that she's sitting on the pillows looks very good and very natural. The one thing that they don't have imaged here is the little tiger stuffed animal that's in the artwork that's going to sit right here, that when they showed the promotional image for this before Comic-Con, they did show the tiger. So that will be the exclusive, apparently, for this set, which is neat. But that's something that's like necessary, so I'm a bit disappointed that that's the exclusive. I think there's a better idea for an exclusive, which I'll talk about in a second here. With Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man, his body is sculpted pretty nicely. Like, I like his positioning there. I think he looks pretty cool. I will say that in the artwork, the coloring on his suit is a little bit better in the artwork. It's got a lot of black like washed into it to really accentuate the muscle structure underneath the costume, which this one, it doesn't look like that. It looks like they just use a blue and a little bit of a darker blue to kind of represent that. It still looks nice, but when you just compare it to the artwork, the artwork is better, and these are really supposed to be the 3D representations of the artwork, so I would have liked to see that represented a little bit better here. However, it's still okay. My big issue with them, and I thought it was just me that had this issue, but reading comments on some of Sideshow's Instagram posts about the statue, it looks like a lot of people have the same issue, as I'm not a fan of this face sculpt. Like, I can see how they got to this conclusion, like, I can see where they saw this type of sculpt within the artwork itself. However, he just looks weird. He's got this, like, really, like, weird pointed smile. He's got very evil eyebrows. He has, like, this sinister look, which is just really odd for this statue, and doesn't really fit. I'm not a fan of this face sculpt really at all, which is disappointing. So my big hope with the statue, and this will probably be a deciding factor for me if I'm going to buy it or not, is if there is a secondary head sculpt for him with the mask on. With the mask on, it just totally fixes the problem. There's no issue at all. But with the mask off, it just doesn't look great. So personally, I would have preferred the exclusive item for this set just to be an interchangeable head sculpt for Peter with the mask on, because the mask off is not flattering and has a really odd look to it, in my opinion. So we'll see. If this thing's not super expensive, it really depends how they price it, and if we get that secondary head sculpt. That's going to be the big deciding factor. If we don't get the secondary head sculpt and the price is quite high, I won't be getting it for sure. But if we even still don't get the head sculpt, but the price is rather reasonable, then I'd probably get it. And then it's just a win-win if we get the secondary head sculpt with a reasonable price. But those be dreaming words, let me tell you. I don't think that that's going to quite happen. But nonetheless, it's really nice to see another J. Scott Campbell product. It does mean that they're continuing with the J. Scott Campbell kind of line of statues. Really would have hoped that they continue with the Fairytale Fantasy line instead of this. I think it's neat to get more Spider-Man figures, but it's just, I don't know, like some of the other ones, these are both characters that we've seen before from them. Again, like if I was told that they were going to do another Mary Jane statue, I would have much preferred the one with her on the couch, and not just the single couch piece, but the one with her on the couch with the coffee, with Spider-Man swinging in the window. I think that that's the best image of Mary Jane that he's drawn, and I would have liked to see that represented. This one's really cool. It's just, I really want the statue for Mary Jane, and getting the whole Spider-Man with it is obviously necessary for this pose, but it does mean that it's going to be a big extra expense when I really don't want that extra piece, essentially. So overall, this looks quite neat. Glad to see them continue. Hope that we see more from their J. Scott Campbell line in general, and I'm very much looking forward for that Atlas statue to come out. Oh, also, I did just get the original Mary Jane statue from Sideshow. I've wanted that thing for years. It's gone up in price so much that you really couldn't get it for below $400 to $500 for the longest time, and I was able to snag it in perfect condition for $300, and I did get it, which it retailed for $250 a long time ago, like several years ago. So I think that I'm quite happy with the price. It's something that I've wanted for a long time. So having that in my collection is very nice. However, especially owning that piece now, you can really see that they've updated their style to really match the artwork, especially with the face. I do love the Mary Jane piece that they did before, but the face sculpt is off. It looks nice, but it's off. This is a really solid face sculpt for Mary Jane, though, I would say. So there you go. That's my thoughts on this new J. Scott Campbell collection at San Diego Comic-Con from Sideshow. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.